In the past, if you wanted to study for an MBA in Japan, well, you couldn't. You'd have to go overseas. That is no longer the case. In the past decade or so, the number of institutions offering Masters of Business Administration has skyrocketed. In the US and other countries, the value of an MBA is well established, but that's not always the case in Japan.
Well, the value of MBA in Japan is actually, you could say that it's increasing in Japan. It's becoming more recognized as a valuable set of tools and a valuable set of outlooks. I think in Japan these days it shows that the individual who's studying for an MBA is very interested in getting involved in business on an international or global scale. And many companies in Japan are becoming more globalized or more international, you could say. And so they need people who are able to communicate in this setting, use the same kinds of tools and vocabulary that people around the world are using. So its value is actually rising quite a bit.
It's a huge change from before. Japan's business leaders in the bubble years often criticized the MBA mentality. They argued they produced managers who failed to pay attention to product quality or view the long-term picture.
Frankly speaking, Japanese companies tend to put focus on a kind of in-house training or in-house culture, which is based upon the long-term perspective or lifetime employment. But at the same time, since the economic society or situation is rapidly globalized, they need to understand the global competitive market. So they both have to learn about the merits or advantages of Japanese management system, and at the same time they have to face with the tough globalization. So this combination is quite important.
There is a shortage of people with these kinds of skills. There's very strong demand for it. So people who are studying for an MBA will find what they've studied very valued.
The Keio Business School is part of Japan's oldest university. Students have access to top-class facilities and faculty.
その理由が、慶応ビジネススクールに、おられる田中茂プロフェッサーが非常に日本の病院経営だったり日本のそのポリシーに詳しいというお話でしたので、その彼の教えを受けたいというのが大きな理由です。そしてもう一つ慶応ビジネススクールというのはやはり歴史が非常に長いですので、その歴史から生まれるさまざまなOB、OG だったり、そういうつながりですね、そういったものも魅力に感じました。
The program is in Japanese, but not all the students are local.
So for me, who I wanted to get to know the Asian culture more, I think it was an incredible chance because I'm not surrounded by people from all over the world, but from Japanese people, I have to behave like them, I have to talk like them. So it's a big challenge, but it's also a very interesting and I think precious occasion.
McGill's program teaches around 40 students on weekends. The average age is around 35. It belongs to one of Canada's top-ranked universities, whose main campus is in Montreal.
I think something interesting about Canadian MBA programs, Canadian business schools in general, is that they're much more diverse than American programs. In particular, if you were to study at some of the big US schools, the students, they may have various perhaps ethnic backgrounds or something like that, but the program is American, it's about America. And the mindset can be rather narrowly American.
The change in emphasis in Japan has moved away from just having technical skills, I think that's a given, to how to get people to go on the journey with the company and the direction the company's taking them. So no matter how smart you are or how technically capable you are, if the people are not interested in going with you, then nothing happens. And I think for Japanese companies, I've started to realize that their management capability is the weak link in the chain now, particularly as you've got an aging workforce. A lot of the senior managers are retiring out of the companies. So succession planning is a big thing for the type of executive training that we do. We do a lot of in-house training, of course. We have a lot of public training. There's a lot of emphasis now on succession planning and building the next generation of leaders beyond just having raw, engineering capability or technical capability.
As business goes global and grows more complex, more and more employers are putting weight on MBAs and the highly specialized skills they teach. Thank you for watching Business in Japan TV.